We are Paul and Fiona from Miramar. Paul's the minister at the Uniting Church, and I work in town at police headquarters. And we've had a family in our congregation, refugee family, who came from Myanmar 4 or so years ago. And we were following with interest their desire to get some of their extended family to come to New Zealand as well. Frank and Mary and 5 teenagers, 3 of their own and 2 nieces, were in Malaysia trying to get to New Zealand, and when they were at Mangere going through the resettlement program, it became obvious that there wasn't going to be social housing for them in Wellington City.
They looked at private housing options for the family, but those were going to be too expensive, so we decided that we could look at offering them our house at a subsidised rent.
I remember reading the Scripture Union daily readings and the early chapters of Acts just on that week before we made this fairly bold offer about our house, and it was about the early believers sharing their possessions to those who are in need. And to me that's what I was like, hey, why can't they have our house? Our kids have left home, we can go find somewhere else.
Finally, Frank rang me up one day from Mangere saying, look, the social housing office are not there, we'll take up your offer for that house. And that left us 2 weeks to pack up and get out of our house. We had to spend a couple of weeks at my in-laws out in the Hutt Valley, but then we found a place, and so it was awesome. God provided that place for us.
It was a real sense of faith, and felt kind of crazy but exciting at the same time. And then as we fell on our feet with this rental that we found after having viewed some fairly scungy places, it's fair to say, with queues of people, but then there was one and we got it, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. Kind of God's maybe honoured what we did, but that was never part of the deal. It was we had the resources, we had choices, and Frank and Mary and their family never had those choices.
It wasn't quite the end for us in terms of faith though, because the house that we got was quite expensive, and so there's a big gap between what we charged Frank and Mary for our house and what we were going to pay our new landlord. And so we didn't have an answer to that. We vaguely thought we might get a boarder or something, but it turns out we got some amazing homestays through St Pat's College here, some boys from West Papua, and that's more than made up for that difference. So financially we're doing okay. God's looked after us, and so it's been cool. We've had Frank and Mary and family as part of our church community for nearly a year now, and we've helped them get their driver's licenses and get jobs. Frank's also started a language-specific church to his particular ethnic group within the wider Chin community.
In lots of our churches, I think we don't see how wealthy and how well resourced we are, and you just need to think a little bit globally and just see how wealthy we are and not get sucked into the, I guess, materialistic vibe, which is just the norm in New Zealand. So it's a really freeing, liberating thing if we can use our resources and the blessings and our wealth to somehow trade down and enable others to live well.
And I think the other thing to say to a lot of us kind of middle class Christian, you know, if we're going to stay excited in our faith, and if we're going to be kind of challenged, some of the little sacred cows that we have, like our houses and so forth, I think God may ask us to kind of look at that. You know, it's all very well talking about faith, but it's when some of those things are put up or let go of or held lightly that I think you have a real chance to grow in faith and to be stretched. So, and that's exciting, you know, in terms of faith, in terms of life. And so, you know, look at the things which are holding most dearly, and maybe there's an opportunity in those things for God to grow you and to make being a Christian and being a church a bit more exciting than sometimes we get the impression that it is for some of us.